As much as I love the DC universe, I gotta admit that there are some things that just don't make much sense, and often get overlooked. For me, one of the biggest things is secret identities. But before I start, let me preface this by saying that this video is just for fun, so don't take everything too seriously. Alright then, let's start with what I feel is one of the worst secret identities. Clark Kent or Superman's disguise is literally glasses. Just glasses. Not even sunglasses or a mask, just some regular random pair of glasses he picked up at Albertsons. The difference between this and this should not be enough for everyone around him to not notice this. Now, you may want to argue that Clark Kent holds himself in an entirely different manner compared to his alter ego. Kent has different body language, he's more soft-spoken, his mannerisms are less, heroic sounding, and his suit hides his muscles. In Superman 2, you can see how much he transitions. There's a noticeable difference. And I'm not denying this, but you have to remember that Superman is basically a celebrity in their universe. If I saw Elon Musk ordering a Big Mac, even if he was wearing glasses, acted like a gym rat, and spoke with an accent, he's so recognizable that I would still recognize him in that situation. And even if I did so happen to miss him, what about the thousands of other people that pass by him every day? Yeah, people get mistaken for celebrities all the time, but I would think that people would at least take a picture of him and upload it online. I mean, hypothetically, if Superman was real and existed in our modern world, I'm almost certain the internet would be able to figure out Superman's true secret identity. But what baffles me more than any of that though, is how his coworkers, or more importantly, his friends, the people he sees almost every day, can't figure it out. I'm not saying that it's completely obvious that Clark Kent is Superman. I mean, here's a great scene that shows how hard it would be for most people to tell the two apart. But now imagine your best friend or significant other up on that screen doing the exact same thing. For me, no matter how much their mannerisms or posture changes, or whether they're wearing glasses or not, after spending so much time with someone, you'll just be able to tell. Especially in Superman's case, his face is just so distinguishable. Yeah, they may be thrown off for a second, but there's no way people close to him can't make the connection. I understand that most people think Superman's real identity is Kal-El and he lives in the Fortress of Solitude, so why would he have another secret double life? And sure, I think because the general population believes this, it does help Superman hide himself in plain sight to most people. But I believe the people closest to Clark Kent should still be able to see through this after some time. To me, it just doesn't make much sense. But okay, now you're telling me that there's a flaw in my argument. Since you have a friend that looks just like Jack Black, but you know for a fact that you're not actually friends with the real Jack Black. So the same thing applies with Superman and Clark Kent. Just because two people look similar doesn't mean they have a secret second life. But the biggest difference I see between Clark Kent and Superman and a celebrity and your friend that looks like said celebrity is, first, why would Jack Black have a secret second life to be friends with you? And second, having someone that looks like a celebrity is very different than being the exact same person, but with glasses. A friend that looks like a celebrity most likely has a few key details that remind you of that celebrity, but that's totally different than someone with the exact same facial structure, muscle mass, hair color, eye color, wrinkles, and literally everything else. But, just wears glasses and presents himself in a different manner. And lastly, this one is totally not a joke, I feel like it's more likely for someone to believe that Superman would want another secret identity than someone like Jack Black. I mean, it's well known to the public that Superman lives in a place called the Fortress of Solitude. Other than the fact that it sounds kind of cool, it's called the Fortress of Solitude. It's basically a giant rock prison, and unless that fortress has a $3,000 setup, I see no reason for him to really want to spend all his time there. And one last final point is video cameras. I mean, there are cameras everywhere. Everyone's got a phone on them. Every doorbell has a camera. Cameras on stoplights, security cameras. I know Superman changes very fast, but I'm honestly just surprised that there isn't footage of him changing and flying away. But to be even more honest, there's so many continuities and stuff out there that there's a probably comic strip from 1942 to disprove all my points, so take everything I said on a casual level. Alright, now with the angry Reddit mods off my back, Batman time. Alright, you'd expect me to talk about his secret identity, but before I get to that, I really want to know, how does he get the Batmobile home? I'm assuming there are parts in the comics where it shows more in depth how Batman is able to just drive home, but from what I've seen, specifically in the trilogy, he either drives or flies home in a giant tank. Every time he wants to go home, he doesn't have many options if he wants to repark his giant tank. Speaking just from the movies, cause I rewatched them all recently, he could go on top of buildings, but that's slower than a helicopter and kinda dangerous. Or he could fly home, which basically seems like the only way, but if a swarm of helicopters or cameras were deployed everywhere, they should be able to tell where he flies to. I mean, that's pretty much all the ways that were really shown, since what's he supposed to do? Take local roads? Batman gets caught in traffic once, and police and journalists could catch up to him. But seriously, the times he actually escapes, he does things like break through barriers and then drives into a forest, leaving giant trails that the police could easily track. I'm pretty certain that Batman could easily get back to the Batcave with just a motorcycle and his stealth, but the problem is the giant tank of a car he usually wants to get home. Also, couldn't traffic cameras and other cameras around him be connected together to determine where he's headed? I'm certain in the comics he has ways around all this, but just in the movies, it just seems kind of odd that people, including the police, are after Batman, yet they just don't follow his giant Batmobile. Okay, now outside of being able to track him, I also always thought his secret identity was just too easy to figure out. Of course I already know it, so I'm biased, but come on, Batman's city is Gotham. He lives in Gotham. He needs a lot of money for all his gadgets and vehicles, so he's extremely rich. He has to be relatively young to be able to fight the way he does. That already narrows it down a lot. From there, just investigate the people who could be suspects. Bruce Wayne is the exact same height, has the same build, and has the same skin color. Also, what's funny is I actually took a picture of Bruce Wayne today, and his facial hair is the exact same as Batman's. Odd. I mean, seriously, the guy leaves a chunk of his face exposed. If Bruce Wayne was a suspect for being Batman, which he definitely is, if he accidentally leaves a little stubble of hair under his lip, along with the fact that they have the same lips, teeth straightness, and literally everything else since they're the same person, it shouldn't be too hard to figure out from there. I mean, if L was called, he probably would have cracked the case of his secret identity within a few days. Anyways, that pretty much wraps up the video. There's definitely a lot more funny stuff in the DC universe, but that also means there's a lot more stuff to contradict me. So again, this video was a casual one for fun. I thought I brought up some valid points, but this is from the perspective of a casual fan, who just hopes you found most of the video enjoyable. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Take it easy. Peace. Also, thanks for the Patreon subline. Appreciate it as always.